we are also focusing on an enigma for Australia. Somebody who's, well, we saw him during the IPL, always comes in with that potential, no matter how much you pay for him, but doesn't really seem to have delivered. But Glenn Maxwell 2.0, or shall we see 2020.0, has been a revelation, Zahir Khan. It's almost a new Glenn Maxwell that probably kicked off last year with that 100 against, well, Michael will remember that. But Zahir, let me get your opinion first.
We just spoke about players going to a particular ground and getting that confidence. I think in Maxwell's case, looks like the ODI format is something which is giving him that kind of confidence. He's had an average IPL, so the form getting into this series was not the most ideal one, but he's delivered again in this format. So that is something which was interesting to see. He's played a good hand in both the ODIs which he played so far. I think he's been bowling those 5 overs. That really takes the pressure off him in a way. There's always there's no doubt that he's got abundance of talent, and he's got that hitting ability. He's innovative with his shot making. So that really makes him that X factor player. But consistency is something which has always been a question mark with regard to the kind of talent which he has, and that is something which he needs to really work on. And ODI format, I think we have seen glimpses of that. It's still, I feel, long way away from the kind of potential which he has for him to do justice with that. But things are coming along surely for him, and I feel that bowling balance which he is adding has certainly taking that little bit of edge off the kind of pressure which he's been feeling. He's had those mental issues as well, right? Some depression treatment which he was doing, some pressures which he was feeling, so he's had his series of issues, but good that he's fighting all that and making impact at this level.
Yeah, that innings with him and Alex Carey, considering the position they were in, really catapulted him. But what Zahir just touched upon, Michael, the mental health issues, and it's something that as a viewer you can never really know unless someone's come out with it, because he seems like such a jovial character, whether he's playing well or not.
Yeah, I think he started to understand himself as well, so he knows when to take a little bit of time out, when he needs a breather. That 100 that you mentioned, it was an incredible innings. Both he and Alex Carey, against a high-class England attack at Old Trafford, England dominating the game, and all of a sudden they came out and played with convention, and then at the end they started to play, I guess, and what we know of Glenn Maxwell, he played the Glenn Maxwell way towards the end to get Australia over the line. I don't think there's a white ball team in the world that wouldn't want Glenn Maxwell. And I'm pretty sure next time round in the IPL auction, most of the teams will still want Glenn Maxwell, because you only kind of look at him and think, well, look what Australia have done. I think they found his rightful place. I think he's in the right place for Australia at that number 7. And I don't think they'll move him too much, unless obviously they get off to the flyers that they have done and he comes in a little bit earlier. But I think they've found his role in that last 15 overs, that they feel that that's when he's at his best, when he can go out there and just pretty much go from ball one. That's when he's having his most effect. You mentioned his bowling, Zahir. I think his fielding as well. His fielding, you pretty much guarantee that he's going to probably save you 5 to 10 runs in the field. So he's already, in my eyes, when he goes out to bat, on 10. I mentioned that most batsmen start on 0. Well, Glenn Maxwell, he possibly starts on 10 because he's that good in the field. As I said, there's no team in the world that wouldn't want Glenn Maxwell with what he brings all round. His love for the game. I mean, I don't think people realise how much of a cricket tragic he is. He absolutely idolises and adores the game, watches everything, knows every stat, every bit of information, and he's just found his kind of probably his inner confidence and inner belief with that 100 that he scored against England, which is a little bit of a worry for the rest of the world. Now he's found his mojo in the Aussie one-day side. I feel he's going to have a consistent time of it over the next couple of years for Australia.